is a problem for getting and holding a security clearance. All the best people in the pro-Trump mob that attacked the Capitol on January 6th.
And for Donald Trump as a former president and possible future president to use that language, knowing that that language led to the Holocaust, he knows what he's doing and he thinks it works.
Even remotely similar. You want to go into history to look for something like this? Go into Italian history and look at Mussolini. This is the way dictators come to power. He's telling you what he intends to do. And we've got to make very sure that in the next 5.5 weeks and after that, we do not get in a situation where, just as Senator Sanders was saying tonight, Donald Trump announces that he's won and puts us in a situation where our democracy is being stolen minute by minute. This is not a drill.
When former President Donald Trump allegedly praised Adolf Hitler, saying the Nazi leader had, quote, done some good things, according to a new book, The Return of Great Powers by CNN's Jim Sciutto. Retired General John Kelly, who of course served as White House Chief of Staff in the Trump administration, recounted several conversations where Trump spoke favorably about Hitler.
It's true. They're destroying the blood of our country.
It's the second time he's used that language when referring to immigrants.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
But Trump insists he's not quoting Hitler, who in his manifesto Mein Kampf called immigration blood poisoning.
And I never read Mein Kampf. They said, oh, Hitler said that in a much different way.
You don't have to have read Mein Kampf to understand the sensitivities around this.
And also the criticism that he's Hitler-esque, like asking voters to raise their right hands in a pledge of support. Here's what Mr. Trump said.
That's the argument many Republicans have been making over the weekend, that the language used by Democrats enabled the assassination attempt. For example, one of Trump's top contenders for his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, tweeted, quote, "Today is not just some isolated incident. The central premise of Biden's campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs." That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination.
The popular X account End Wokeness shared this recent clip of former Senator Claire McCaskill on MSNBC with the caption, "This rhetoric is what got us here." Let's watch it.
A lot of people have tried to draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler and the use of the terminology like vermin and the drive that those men had towards autocracy and dictatorship. The difference, though, I think makes Donald Trump even more dangerous, and that is he has no philosophy he believes in.
Politico reports that a week ago, Biden told donors, we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. And one day before the shooting, Biden called Trump a threat to this nation.
I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we are fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back, take stock of where we are, how we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. Around the world, when he talks about America being a failing nation, he says we're losing. He's the loser. He's dead wrong. America is more prosperous, and Americans are safer today than under Donald Trump. Trump continues to lie about crime in America, like everything else. Guess what? On his watch, the murder rate went up 30%, the biggest increase in history. Meanwhile, we made the largest investment, Kamala and I, in public safety ever. Now, the murder rate is falling faster than any time in history. Violent crime has dropped to the lowest level in more than 50 years. And crime will keep coming down when we put a prosecutor in the Oval Office instead of a convicted felon.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I am glad to be back. I am glad that you have chosen to join me here on my channel once again. I know it's been a while. It's been a long while, about 6 weeks, a month and a half. And man, during this month and a half, stuff has surely happened during my break. My goodness, I can't even believe, from the assassination attempt of Donald Trump to Kamala Harris taking over the party, to Joe Biden getting the boot, to the terrible DNC. Of course, Trump choosing his running mate Vance at the RNC, and I mean, there's just been so much, just a packed 6 weeks during my break. And of course, the family's great. We added another one to the family, and as you parents know, that adding another child to the pack, well, that is, even just adding one is it's life changing, and there's a lot of life altercations that need to take place during this time. So that's why I had to step back for a little bit and get my house in order, and then now I am back and ready to go. But all that being said, I have decided to postpone my founding history, specifically going over the religious roots of our nation for a few weeks anyway, because honestly I want to get to this my thoughts on Donald Trump's attempted assassination, as well as the DNC, the choosing of Kamala Harris as the front runner for the Democrats. She screwed over Joe Biden. She screwed over Robert F. Kennedy. I mean, she screwed over anybody who would be, I guess, a viable candidate. Because at this point, I think anybody would be better than her. But hey, I mean, more power to you, because I don't want any Democrat to come into power. But that being said, I should actually also add this, that not only did she screw over the potential presidential candidates, but she screwed over the Democrat voters as well, because they didn't even have a choice in this. She was foisted upon you guys. So I don't know. I mean, but that's another topic for another day. But really, today I want to focus in on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, of course, on July the 13th. And I thank God, first of all, I thank God that bullet did not kill Donald Trump. I am so thankful for that, because at the very least, we would have had civil unrest. And I believe that this would have been a catalyst for civil war. And I think it would have been horrific if Crooks had succeeded in his attempt. And not only that, but of course, I mean, my heart goes out to Corey Comparator and his family. Of course, his family. Corey, he unfortunately was killed during that assassination attempt, and it is a tragic thing. I know my wife and I, we actually, the moment that we found out that he did pass away, we prayed for him and his family. And I know the grief that is going to be with his wife and his kids. It's going to be with them, the rest of their lives. And man, my heart just goes out, because I couldn't even imagine, just my kids having to grow up without a father, and because of this person, honestly, he was evil. He was a monster, and what he did was simply unforgivable, and it was it goes beyond the pale of I guess of just what partisan conflict, the Democrats versus the Republicans. Something like this has no place in our nation, and it is absolutely unacceptable coming from both sides. I want to make that clear, that I am not in favor of anybody assassinating a Democrat. just like how I would definitely not be in favor of anybody assassinating a Republican candidate as well. And so that being said, I mean, my thoughts going into here, I purposefully played a montage for you in the beginning, speaking about the rhetoric. And first, I guess it would probably behoove us to look at the final part of the clip, speaking about Joe Biden, of how he said that we need a political cooling of our politics because it's just gotten too hot. It's just things have become too heated, and it's led to something like this. Well, I have to say this though, that it was the Democrats that have pushed and pushed and pushed people to go to this point. It wasn't us. It wasn't our side. It wasn't the Republican Party. It was the Democratic Party. This is why I played this montage for you in the beginning. Listen to the rhetoric that they are spouting out in front of people on a day-to-day basis. You had the likes of Rachel Madcow and several others on CNN, and you even had several Democratic lawmakers, Joe Biden, calling us domestic terrorists. You have the likes of Nancy Pelosi, or Skeletor, as I like to call her, continuing to propagate this type of rhetoric, calling us Nazis, calling everyday hardworking American people deplorables, calling us all sorts of just the same tired, boring labels and monikers, just the slander that they put on us on a day-to-day basis on hardworking people, where all that we want to do is just have a better life for ourselves. We want to have a better life for our family. We want our nation to succeed. Because when on earth did Make America Great become a call for domestic terrorism? When on earth did we ever deserve the label of Nazi or Hitler, or Trump to be called Hitler? Like, when on earth did any of this have to take place? I honestly don't get it, because we shouldn't have to live with such labels. It shouldn't be even within any type of rhetoric, because honestly, I've yet to see any Republicans trying to put anybody into a re-education camp. But oh boy, hey, do you remember back in 2020 we had AOC? She was talking about trying to re-educate people who have, I guess, been part of the MAGA cult, as what they call it. And so I've never heard a Republican make a call for that. I've never heard a Republican make a call for violence on a political opponent. But I've sure seen lots and lots of that type of rhetoric from the Democratic side. You could go anywhere from old Auntie Max, saying that that they should go and harass people while they're sitting down in restaurants, and you have, of course, as I not alluded to, but as I explicitly said earlier, with CNN, NBC, ABC, all that other liberal news networks, even Fox is guilty of this, of calling us Nazis, and of course, like, equating Trump to the second coming of Hitler, and all of this rhetoric that they continually push. And don't you think that would eventually have an effect on the psyche of people such as crooks, to where it would push them to believe this garbage that they're just pushing pushing on us on a day-to-day basis, that they constantly, day in, day out, they're pounding that drum, pounding it, telling all these other people, hey, the Republicans, they're evil, they're out to get you, they're going to, they're the Nazi party, they're the revitalization of it. And don't you think that that's going to have an effect upon people, that where they're going to think, oh man, if I'm going to cut off the head of this dragon, or cut off the head of this serpent, then of course we're going to have to go all the way to the top, and that's Trump. I mean, in my opinion, I think that the people who are guilty of July the 13th, I believe that this is actually the media's doing. And I would even go a step further and say that this is also the fault of our education as well, because look at the history that they've changed. I mean, this is exactly why I created this channel in the first place, is because of stuff like this. Because they want to take history and they change it so that these kids who are being educated in our public school systems, as well as being educated at our universities and colleges, they are under attack mentally by these people pushing this hatred for America rhetoric upon our children, and indoctrinating them and brainwashing them to say that we're evil. And it's wrong. And this is exactly why, again, that I started this channel, because, I mean, just look at this. And of course, I'm going to have all the links in the description. So I have every single video that I showed. You could go back and you can watch all of them in the links. You can go back and you could read each one of these articles in the links that I'm going to provide you below. Okay, the links are going to be in the description, so you don't have to take my word for it, as the Democrats, or as Tim Walz has said, hey, trust me, believe me. Just that. That's also what Joe Biden does. But no, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you, go look for yourself. Go look at these videos. Go look at these articles. See for yourself the type of people that the Democrat Party is. And by the way, when I talk about the Democrat Party, I'm not talking about the voter base. I am talking about the media. I'm talking about those who are in positions of power, who have pushed people like crooks into believing this type of crap that probably led into this assassination. I'm not going to get into any type of conspiracy theories or anything like that. I'm just saying that when it comes to this rhetoric that the Democrats espouse, they are to blame for the crap that they feel in people's minds who constantly believe in this. And they want to say that they're fair and balanced. They want to say that they are without bias, but they are absolutely biased in this. And I mean, just look, with the FBI, they're already trying to, or excuse me, I know that they retracted it, because I know this is dated and I'm coming in a few weeks afterward. But the FBI, just days after, trying to change the story about Donald Trump, that, oh no, he wasn't hit in the ear by a bullet. No, it was shrapnel. How on earth was he hit by shrapnel if the bullet didn't make contact with anything other than his ear? I mean, if they're willing to change history in just a matter of days, and even CNN within a matter of minutes, they said loud banging heard at a Trump rally. We all know that it was a gunshot. There was no doubt in anybody's mind about this, other than the doubt that's being planted there by the liberal media. And so this is what I want to say, is that if they are willing, the deep state, if the Democrat Party, really, honestly, I would even go as far to say that the media is the Democrat Party. The liberal media. And if the media, the Democrat Party, the deep state, the education system, if as we see here, because we all know that they're in bed together, but specifically calling out the media and the leadership for this particular point, if they are willing to try to change history just in a matter of minutes or days after the attempted assassination, then what on earth makes you think that they're going to be completely honest about our history of what happened 200 to 300 years ago? This is exactly why I made this channel, is to combat this type of garbage, this type of political rhetoric that they are trying to espouse upon us, on our children. Of course, not only through through the media, but of course I did say that the education system is very guilty of doing this to our children as well. And to alter perception about reality, to alter the perception of truth, and just I mean, just as they've done that, it is disgusting. It's evil. That's honestly what it is. And I want to make this clear, because I do not use this word evil lightly. It is. I think it should be something that is actually reserved for truly tyrannical, truly evil people who are trying to, like in this case, alter the perception so that they can either A, gain sympathy, or B, try to rouse up more anger and resentment toward a specific side. And I think, of course, in this case, they're obviously trying to do that. They're trying to rouse up that anger and resentment even more toward Donald Trump and toward the Republicans, and make America great. And I think that this type of ideology it's evil. I really, really do. And even that being said, just seeing Corey again, just going back a little bit, just seeing Corey having to die during this because of the failure of the Secret Service, the failure of the police force, during this rally. We even see Democrats that such as that stupid influencer Destiny, who was saying that it was a good thing that Corey died and that he got what he deserved. I mean, that is absolutely sick. That is disgusting. And words just fail me to really adequately describe how I feel. And honestly, I just want to say that it was a good thing that I didn't react to this right away, because honestly, when I first saw this, I was enraged. I always try to maintain some type of professionalism, especially when I am recording for my videos, and especially later on when I want to do a live podcast as well. Again, we can't do that until we get 100 subscribers, but that's neither here nor there. But this is something that I want to do, is that I want to be able to maintain that, and honestly, I don't know if I would have been able to maintain that type of composure, because generally I'm a pretty happy guy, and this really, really enraged me. And just the anger, the sadness that I felt that our country has even come to a situation like this because of the constant lies that are being spewed by the Democratic Party. And it was a sad day in our nation's history because because of this action, because of the action of the liberal media and our Democratic lawmakers that have led to a situation like this. And to I guess add the cherry on top of this crap cake, the Democrats at the recent DNC this past week, they didn't say a dang word, not one word about condemning violence, especially on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. They didn't say a dang word at the DNC, in which I am going to get into it. I want to talk about Kamala Harris, probably next week. Kamala Harris, or not next week, in the next video, so about 2 weeks. But I want to talk about Harris and Walz and how radical they are. And I want to talk about, just the fake and the phoniness that I saw from the DNC. And so I will get into all that in a later video. But here, I didn't hear a single word about about decrying any type of violence, any type of that this type of action, this hatred has no place in our nation. Nothing trying to abate any type of hatred or tape down the rhetoric of the Democrats toward the Republican Party or anything like that. It was everything that I saw, again, was just going back to them being fake and phony. And but hey, you know what I did see is that they did cry and moan about the January 6th. I saw lots of that. lots of going out and saying January 6th, it was the worst assault on our democracy. Oh my goodness, we're never going to live that down. January 6th. I mean, they talked about, I shouldn't even say that they talked about it, because they still talk about January 6th like it happened yesterday. And then this attempted assassination, which took place just about 6 weeks ago, they don't breathe a word about it. And that should go and just show you how disingenuous the Democrat Party is. That should go and show you that when Joe Biden, when he said, hey, we need to have a political cooling, we need to cool this climate, that just rings so hollow for me if you're not even willing to bring it up again and try to restrain, try to bring back, to hold back any more of that type of hatred, that type of rhetoric that they push. But not one word was said. But you know what they said an awful lot about? Of how evil Donald Trump is, of how much he wants to be a dictator, of how evil we as hardworking American people who go and make this country work because we go out and work. And they said a lot about how evil we are, and of course they cried and moaned a lot about January 6th. But I thought it was funny, and I thought it was ironic. I'll just close on this thought: is that when it comes to the past 4 years, I think it's ironic because they wanted to demonize Donald Trump about saying that he couldn't say fight like hell. That's actually a quote from Donald Trump. He said, go fight like hell. But he also said to make your voices peacefully and patriotically heard. And nobody really wants to add that on. But he did say fight like hell. And so when the Democrats, they latched on to that, to that phrase, and they said that he was trying to incite violence through that phrase, you can't say fight like hell, even though a lot of people say fight like hell, because it's a common phrase. They're not talking about going and actually going fisticuffs with people. They're talking about we're going to rise up and fight back and take a certain thing back. We're going to make a stand. That's what it means. It has nothing to do with an actual call to violence of what the Democrats propose that it means, because I know it's a lie, and more importantly, they know that it's a lie. But I just found it ironic that at least 10 times in what I can stomach through the DNC of trying to hear all that crap that they were, those crappy speeches, I mean, look, I almost had an aneurysm going through that. Okay. But as I was listening to it, I heard at the very least 10 times the word fight. I even heard, I forgot who it was. I want to say it might have been Oprah or somebody else, but I know for sure that at the end of many of the speeches, they said, when Kamala fights, we win. And I was just thinking, well, wait a minute, you guys were over there talking about that if we say fight, that it's a call to violence, yet you're over here, I guess, making a call to violence based off of your own definition. I don't know. You tell me what you think about this and what you thought about this whole assassination attempt and even the DNC. Of course, like I said, I'll go into that in further detail in a later video. But anyway, I just wanted to say that they're called to fight. It's okay, but if we say it, it's not okay. But I want to be serious here for just a moment and just say that absolutely, the Republicans, we absolutely need to stand up and fight, because I'm not even going to say our democracy, because this is a constitutional republic. Our republic depends on it. Our nation, everything that we stand for, the economy. If you want a better future for your children, for their children, we absolutely have to stand up and fight like hell this time. This election is a key and pivotal election in the life of our nation, in the life of our in our history. It is a pivotal moment that we've come to. It's a crossroads, and if Kamala Harris gets elected, we're going to see the destruction of this nation like we've never seen before. Whether it's through maliciousness, which I don't know, we're talking about Kamala here. She's an idiot. I think it'll be more through just ineptness. But of course, those people who are pulling the strings behind the scenes, I mean, they, because we all know that Biden wasn't the one making the decisions. He's a corpse. He's a husk. I'm not saying he's dead. I'm just saying that the dude has no idea where he's at. That's all that I mean by that. But what I do mean is that it's likely going to be those same people who are pulling the strings are going to pull her strings as well. And it is absolutely time that we stand up and we fight back. We fight like hell for our nation. We go to the voting booths and we vote in Donald Trump and we save our nation. I don't want to even think about what type of a nation that my 2 children are going to have to grow up in if we fail at this. We absolutely need to make every effort to go to that to those voting booths, and we need to get rid of the Harris administration. We need to get rid of the Democrats. We need to send them packing in the voting booths, and we need to absolutely stop getting these people back into power. Like, why on earth people like AOC, Ilhan Omar, Anti-Max, Skeletor and the like, why on earth they continue to win? I mean, I get it. That's just, I know that it's a Democrat-controlled area, but I'm just saying, after a while, if, they keep promising stuff and they have years. I mean, I can't even say months. I mean, this is literal years. In fact, actually, in some of them, like Anti-Max and Skeletor, it's decades. They have decades of broken promises, crappy districts, and people still vote them in. Like, I just don't get it. And I mean, you guys have got to get rid of these 2 people. There's a whole lot more, but I mean, at least those 2. At the very least, they have a terrible track record. But anyway, we got to stand up, and we absolutely have to fight this November. And I mean, go into the voting booths, bring your friends, make sure you all vote for who you believe is best, especially in your local, but definitely in the national election for the president. I truly believe that is going to be Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance. But we absolutely need to stand up, and it is time that we do that because time is running out, and this is the most important election of our lifetime.